welcome back to the In.pencil podcast. I'm Adam.
And I'm also Adam.
No, you're not. Stop lying.
Who am I?
You're a fraud. Honey, you're a fraud.
My name's actually Jess.
My name is PayPal. I'm here to rob you. Stick them up.
Are we doing bits about what we're discussing today?
I think so. Yes.
So today we are talking about the honey controversy. Actually, we're not. If you don't know the honey controversy, we'll briefly talk about it. But I want to talk about an aspect of the controversy that I have not heard people talk about, and I think is important. And I almost got into it with Adam last night about it. Not like got into it with him, but I almost started talking about it with him yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was like, save it, because we didn't have enough time to talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we got time now.
We got time now. Yeah.
Give me the Cliff Notes abridged version of what's going on, so that if anyone's listening and doesn't know what's going on, they at least know a little bit of context.
Okay, so Honey is a browser extension you may have seen ads for on YouTube where creators are like, "Hey, use this browser extension. It'll save you money. It's a great deal." Turns out they may be taking affiliate codes from the creators. So basically, you click on a link. They say, "Hey, buy this product," and I have links in the description. And you click on that, and it's an affiliate code. So when you buy it, they get some of that money,
right? Because
they promoted it to you. They get kind of that. That's a common thing. A lot of times they'll even tell you, like, "Hey, you can buy this, and if you do, I'll get a little bit of money." Or this is affiliate link. Fine. Like, you don't pay more for an affiliate if they get an affiliate link. It just lets whoever you bought that from, it lets them know that this advertising venue of using a influencer, YouTuber, whatever, works. Well, the accusation is that Honey, when you use Honey, it takes the affiliate link from the creator anytime an affiliate link is used, and it gives them their own affiliate link. That's the accusation. And the second accusation is that it does not give you the best deals. It actually gives you the best deals that the website or the product will let you get. So they can set, like, what's the best deal? Like, the best deal may be a 20% off, but that product only wants a 10% off. So they make an agreement with Honey to be 10% is the best deal that Honey will find. I don't know the truth of it all. We'll link to the is it Megalag video who gave this big thing, and it got into it, and it's a great video. Go watch it. Just know it is a genre of videos that says, like, this is all bad,
right? Guaranteed
bad, and I don't know. So I'm not saying like it is 100% factual. It's just where this started blowing up. This came out like a week.
He had receipts, right? In the video, he had receipts.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a really good video. Now there are lawsuits. Legal Eagle is doing a lawsuit. That's another YouTuber with I believe with it's another YouTuber that's a part of that lawsuit, but I can't remember. Anyway, a lot of YouTubers have done this extension. I saw the extension years ago and I was like, "Oh, that sounds great." That also sounds too good to be true. It's a free extension that finds you deals. Something's not right about that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us, and I saw a lot of comments said, "Oh, I thought they were just stealing your information." I thought that was the whole thing that Honey was doing, which apparently, according to...
That's probably also true.
Yeah. Nobody's actually accusing or not accusing Honey of stealing your information, like getting the information from you by you downloading this browser extension. That's not even a part of this craziness, right? Like, nobody's talked about that. So I don't even know if they do that. That's one of the reasons I never downloaded Honey, is because I was like, I don't know what they're doing behind the bit, and I don't want to read 16 pages of terms of service just to figure out what is actually happening here. For it to say a bunch of legalese, we may or may not be doing this.
Yeah.
But that's not really the thing that they're talking about here. Okay, so that's the story.
Right.
I've seen a lot of people talk about this from the original video. I've seen a Hank Green video that talked about it. I'm not going to get into that Hank Green video, but actually I am. That Hank Green video is the reason why I started thinking about this. I've seen Legal Eagle talk about it. I watched his video where he said, "We're suing Honey."
Yeah.
And even the original video on this I've not seen any of the last tech tip stuff, but it sounds like he is really not doing great in PR on this. He's had a terrible, terrible year.
Wow.
Terrible few years on making Linus Tech Tips look good.
They've known about this for several years, and they just never said anything. So
yeah, he had reasons why, and I've already seen people say like these reasons aren't good. I don't know. I don't know enough about Linus Tech Tips to know, but every time I hear about them, it seems to be something that they're doing that is just not great. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know nothing. I don't know enough about them. I have not watched the stuff. I've always found Linus Tech Tips to be kind of boring, and I've just never felt like it's sincere.
Right.
But maybe that's just me.
It's too manufactured, right?
Yeah, it just feels like I feel like you're sponsored by somebody bigger that you're not talking about, but that's just how it feels. And that's what I want to get into. That kind of thing is like, everybody's like, this is bad for creators. This is bad for the viewers. It's bad for creators because they're losing their affiliate codes. It's bad for the viewers because they're not getting the best deals. It's bad all around. Honey is scamming people. Scam, scam, scam. Right. And my thought the whole time through this, as I was watching that, and then I was watching, as I said, Hank Green's video, then I was watching Legal Eagle's video, and then I was hearing about Linus Tech Tips. I wasn't watching their videos because I was kind of done at that point.
Yeah.
But was the thing that I kept coming back to is like, how is it bad for the viewers? We're not the ones getting scammed. Yeah, we're not getting the best deals, but we're also not having to go search for coupon codes. People are still getting deals off this. Like, again, I don't know if they're stealing information with the browser extension, if they're like they're taking cookies and all that.
Right.
That's the technical term, taking cookies.
Right.
But I don't know if they're doing that. If they're doing that, then yeah, there's some, unless they straight up tell you that's what we're doing. And then, you're not getting scammed if they're like, hey, we're going to get some of your information and we're going to sell that, or we're going to use that again. If they straight up tell you that and you're like, okay, then that's not scamming you. They're telling you the thing they're doing and you're okay with it.
Right.
I was like, how's this bad for the viewer? It's bad for the creators. If all this is true, they're losing money, but they're also a lot of them are making money off of Honey because they were paid sponsorships. Yeah. And I'm like, how's this bad for the viewer? And it got me thinking, like, how many of the ads that I've seen in videos have been like complete scams to begin with? BetterHelp. We know what happened with BetterHelp.
I don't know what happened with BetterHelp. What happened with BetterHelp?
BetterHelp was like, hey, it's free online therapy, or it's not free online. It's online therapy where you can text or you can talk online to a therapist, a trained therapist, and we're going to get you help. And YouTubers went head over heels for BetterHelp. Okay. And then BetterHelp got caught selling information.
Okay.
Which means they were not doing what HIPAA compliance, where you can't do all that. They were not a legit counseling source. They got fined by the U.S. government. They paid a settlement, which was a slap on the finger, I guess, type of settlement. Not even a slap on the wrist, more of maybe a slight push into the fingernail or something. Kind of hurt, but not really. Like, ow.
A pinch.
Yeah. And then they went back at it, and YouTubers are still sponsoring them. And BetterHelp says they're better. I just don't trust them after that.
Right.
Like, they were selling information. They were also not giving you to actual therapists. They were just giving random people. Like, there was also I believe you could be a lord or in Scotland or something. Oh yeah, by that land, and that was a scam.
Yeah.
That wasn't a real thing apparently. I think I should say that was allegedly a scam. I don't actually know if it was. YouTubers, I'm specifically talking about YouTubers here, but it's all influencers. They're not like trustworthy with these. They'll take ads from anywhere. I think the Honey situation is going to show like the consumer still got deals from what I hear. I don't know. I never used Honey, but occasionally not great deals. It only messed up the influencer. And I don't trust the influencer. And I've almost gotten to the point, and this is hard to say, but here is my thesis. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Is I think a common thing that I'm starting to feel, and I think a lot of other people are feeling, like you are drowning us in ads. I pay for YouTube Premium. I'm one of those guys who pays for YouTube Premium. I don't want to see 5 minutes of ads on every 15-minute video you do. Yeah. And I still have to see it. I have to scrub through your ad section.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I just skip the part where they say, let's talk about World of Wars or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
else.
If it's a video game ad, almost every time, if it's some video game, it is a terrible video game that is using some terrible tactics to try to get you to pay a bunch of money for it. It's one of those, whatever those are called, free-to-play games.
Yeah.
Which are never free-to-play.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of them.
Microtransaction.
Yeah. And they just keep getting you. And it's like, these are all terrible things. And you, as the creator, should know these are terrible. But you still do it. And now you want me to feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You want me to feel sorry for you because you got screwed over by Honey because you didn't read your contract. I don't know. I don't know if it was they hid that from your contract or you didn't read it. But you want me to feel sorry for you about that. But
or it's not in the contract. It's in terms of service, maybe, so.
But you don't feel sorry for me when all these other ones happened.
Yeah.
When you promoted BetterHelp and then my information, I will say personally, my information I did not use BetterHelp.
Right.
But you did that and then my information got taken. I mean, Kim Kardashian, did she get sued for using crypto, for promoting crypto? That was bad. Like, can we sue YouTubers for promoting stuff that's bad?
Do you want to talk about the Haley Welch top Hawktua girl and shit? Like the fucking crypto. She created her own cryptocurrency and then she fucking ran off with the money.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hope she sits in jail for the rest of her fucking life. But
like this type of stuff, this is just influencer culture I think we're coming to a breaking point. And this is why I'm sad to say it, is because I think we're coming to a breaking point where we don't care anymore. I've noticed that in the past year where I used to try to care. I used to try to be like, I'll use your affiliate links. I will watch your 10-minute ad video because I know that helps your channel. And now I'm just like, I don't care anymore.
Well, if you don't give a shit about your audience and you don't have the particular time to not sell bullshit to them, then no, I'm not going to watch. I'll watch YouTube channels that don't do paid advertising, like Miniature Nerd or Got the Wise, or I mean, even Legal Eagle is great because the only thing he pushes is Nebula, which is a great streaming platform because there's no fucking ads,
Yeah. Yeah,
so.
I do like that. I will say, like there are some ads I really do like. Like Nebula is a great one. I get that all the time. I don't have Nebula, but it's always like
I do have Nebula, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I love real life lore on there. Fucking what's the other one? Legal Eagle's on there.
Wendover Productions. That's who I was thinking of. That's a guy that lost it, and he has like some really cool stuff on there. But like Jacob Geller does a lot of Nebula stuff, I believe, and I like his essays. And that's like, but the thing is, like, sometimes when you're pushing your own products, that's one thing. To me, pushing your own products as your ad, I'm okay with actually, because that is something you are saying, this is my name, this is me, this is my brand, and I am putting it out there. Yeah. And so if I get it, if I use it and it's trash, then I know you're pushing trash purposely and willfully.
Yeah.
When you're pushing some ad, I don't know if you care, and I don't even know if you just got a paycheck. It's what it feels like. You're selling. You're just like, I want to stay as a creator, and I'll do whatever it takes. And I mean, but also no, you don't deserve. The influencers and YouTubers are just people who are famous. Like that's the whole point, is to be famous. Is you're famous, you're an influencer, you're famous, and you have control. Right. And not everyone deserves that.
Yeah. And
I feel like there's a culture of saying like, we deserve this because we're giving you this content. We deserve to be paid. And no, that's not how that works. Not everyone deserves to be paid to do their hobby.
Well, I feel like
scummy to say, but this is a lot of this like us saying the things out loud that don't really get said.
Well, I think that if you're somebody that has a good following, a few thousand to 100,000 subscribers or whatever, you have enough of a following to, like, okay, look at Steve Wallace, who does Camping with Steve, he does like stealth camping, right? Yeah. So he goes out and he'll do his thing, he'll do his video once a week or whatever. He's got, I think, over 1 million subscribers now. never once push an ad. All of the support comes from like not Patreon, but Patreon adjacent type funding. The viewers give him the money. The same thing with there's a few others. I'm trying to think. Timothy, what's his name? Can't remember. But anyway, the viewers will pay if you don't push ads down our throat. They'll give you money to make the content because they like the content. They don't need to see Steve Wallace out there, using the latest Gerber knife and pushing the latest Gerber knife because Gerber sent him a paycheck for $100 to push. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You don't need that. Just if you make the shit and people like it, then they'll support you. Like, it's not a fucking complicated algorithm. You just need to make quality content that people that your audience will enjoy, and that's it.
And it's
which is the same thing that Miniature Nerd does with Fallout and video games, and Scott the Waz does the same thing. I'm not sure if he has a Patreon, but if he does, people would support it.
Again, like, I'm all for you pointing out your own stuff, which is like Patreon or whatever version of that. YouTube membership. We Adam and I mostly, I think, are talking YouTube, but it's not like we spend a lot of time on TikTok. No, TikTok feels worse.
Yeah, TikTok is terrible, and it's probably going to be banned here in a couple of days anyway. So
fine.
Fine, whatever.
I mean, I say fine. Yeah, there's some problems with it, but there's a lot of problems with TikTok, and I'm not just talking about problems with who owns TikTok. Right. No, that is a big problem that nobody seems to want to talk about. Who are like, you can't ban TikTok.
Well, there's the fact that it reduces your attention span and creates, generates ADHD in kids and pushes content to kids that's inappropriate, and parents don't know how to filter it, and just I don't
even know how to filter it. Like, it's hard to filter.
Of course not. Are you gonna
It's not made for you to.
Would you let your daughter open a TikTok account and start watching TikTok? Exactly. Yeah. But other people out there with 8 and 10-year-old fucking kids with their little iPhones have TikTok accounts and have YouTube accounts that aren't just YouTube kids. You know what I mean? Like,
So I should go on my rant about YouTube kids sometime. I hate YouTube kids. It's not very user friendly like YouTube is. It's almost like it's designed not to be because it's the free version and it doesn't have ads.
Yeah.
But that's a story for a different day. But this is not about the platforms, which the platforms aren't perfect. They aren't great. In a perfect society, you wouldn't have to quote unquote shill all the time. Yeah. But it feels like a lot of the YouTubers I watch, it just seems like add more and more ads, and I get it. Also, it's funny. We're talking about this in January. January is historically where the ads don't mean as much because Christmas is over, so people aren't buying as much in January. So the ads drop down, and you'll see a lot of creators don't put out stuff in January. I will also say, like, Adam and I do YouTube and occasional TikTok we have before. We do YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, of course. If we don't put out stuff in January, that's just because we just didn't.
Got busy with our normal lives, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we don't take ads. Obviously, we're not big enough to do that.
Even if we were, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it.
I wouldn't either. Unless the ad was for something I truly believed in. And then it would be obvious that I only took like one ad and didn't make enough money. I feel like I would only take ads for like Nintendo products because I like Nintendo products.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to get free Nintendo products to give them ads. Like, one of the creators I follow got free Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and talked about his top 5 favorite Echoes. I'm like, that would be fun. I wouldn't have to pay for Echoes of Wisdom. I would just get the game. They would send me the game and I'd play it and I would say good things about it. I'm okay with doing that. I'm okay with people only talking about positive things about video games because we have enough negative going on. I'm not okay you doing it and pretending like it's not an advertisement.
Yeah.
If you're going to say, like, I got this product, now I'm going to do my honest review. It's not an honest review. You don't understand how that works. If you think you getting a product and getting money, getting a free product or getting money or just having conversation with someone does not influence the way you perceive the material or what you get from them, then you're lying to yourself. Yes, it will it will change the way if you actually had to go to the store and buy that versus someone say, hey, check out my game. be honest about it, but I want to give this to you because I really like your stuff.
Well, so there have been some instances where, like Metal Jesus Rocks, for example, I've seen him get products in, like, mods for retro consoles or something, and he'll get it in, and he'll do an honest review. Like, he'll get it in for free, but he'll do an honest, and he'll rip the thing apart. I love when they do that because, okay, at least you're giving us the honest review. At least you're telling us exactly what's going on. Don't come out here and be like, yeah, I got this thing in. I got in this new remote control, and yeah, they sent it to me for free just as a review copy. But it's awesome. It's the greatest thing in the world. It only has 4 buttons, which isn't nearly enough to do anything with your fucking TV. But it's a great remote control, and you should go buy this. And by the way, use my promo code where I get kickback for it. Like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's this. I will say, like, I do know if you did. Strangely enough, Alex from Nintendo Life does that a lot.
Yeah.
He'll review things that he gets products, and he will rip them apart sometimes, and sometimes like it's okay. So there are some that do that. And I also want to point out, when Adam talked about the remote with 4 buttons, he actually had a remote with 4 buttons that he
It's
just
for my treadmill.
It's for his treadmill. I was like, what is this 4-button remote that he's talking about? he wasn't joking. He had a 4-button remote and used his. Look into the link in the description for our review code. No, this video is not sponsored. We do not do sponsorships. Feel free to put this to the subreddit Age Like Milk if we ever get big and famous and start taking all the sponsorships.
We're not. Holy shit, we are never going to do that. If we ever get to the point where we have over 50,000 subscribers, we're still not going to do spot. I refuse. Like, never going to happen. No.
This is not this is not our main jobs.
No.
This is our fun side activity. We started
during COVID. Well, before COVID.
Before COVID, it just happened to coincide. We started on it before COVID, and then COVID happened like right after. We started on it in February of 2020, and then COVID happened when we started putting out our stuff. Like, we were getting everything together, making the videos. And then, weird times. But this wasn't a COVID side project. It was an accidental COVID side project. But it's just getting to the point where, like, I don't trust influencers anymore. And what that means is if more people, and I think there are other people that are getting to that point. I don't know if enough people are getting to that point to make a change. But if a bunch of people stop saying, I don't care about your ads anymore, I don't care about what influencers have to say anymore, I'm done with this, I don't trust you anymore, that means a lot of people, a lot of great YouTube channels are about to will no longer exist. So I know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't think we should trust YouTubers anymore. And I'm also saying that most of the channels that I like to watch on YouTube are about to not exist if that happens, because they cannot survive. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I'm getting tired of it, and I think they're peddling crap. And then they're like, well, but it's hard. It's hard being a YouTuber. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's hard doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are a lot of people out there that are not trying to sell.
It's also hard commuting to work every single day and dealing with traffic and then going to work and dealing with shitty bosses and coworkers. But motherfuckers do that every single day. It's also hard going to war. Motherfuckers do that every single day. So don't complain to me about making your fucking videos and having to edit them. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. And I know you're not making that much money off of it, but you know what?
Yeah.
I feel like the ethics in YouTube is gone. And like, if Last Tech Tips was hiding information.
It's not just YouTube though. It's also TikTok, Instagram, any of the influencer markets. And the more that social media expands into these other apps, the more con artist ways they're going to be to come up with, ways to lie or screw people over. The crypto thing is fucking insane how much of a scam that stuff is. So,
well, going back to the Hank Green video, Hank Green's been around the internet for a while, so he's very well versed on this. And then I was watching that video, and someone pointed out in the comments, because I saw it too, and someone else pointed out, and he was talking about honey, and he was talking about how the problem with this is, and he's like, but here's an affiliate link, and he was talking about his affiliate link, and he said, let me read a review for this thing that I have a sponsorship for, or whatever. And he said, don't believe what you've heard, was the opening line of this honest review that he was reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that doesn't sound like a review. And then I was reading in the comments and someone said, like, this is a fake review. And I was like, that is right. Hank Green lied to us. He read a fake review talking about the problem with ads.
Yeah.
He and I was like, I cannot believe that he did that. First of all, I feel like that's very scummy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't believe for a minute that he didn't realize that he was reading a fake review. He was reading an ad read.
Yeah.
And he was pretending like it wasn't. And we get that a lot of YouTubers, even the famous ones that have been around since the early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
And the new ones.
We can talk about channels that exist solely to be advertising machines, like Unbox Therapy, like, or even Linus Tech, all the whole Short Circuit and all that shit. That's all basically just meant to be an ad machine for new products.
Yeah. I mean, this is, and even the ones that aren't, like, I'm not going to get
KBHD, same thing. I think I'm at the point where if it's over like 2 million subscribers, I think I'm done with you. Like,
it is a problem.
Had enough. You fucking had enough. Like,
there is a problem where you hit a point where you see people hit a point, and then suddenly their content changes, where they may have added an editor, or they added a staff, and it's like, how do you pay your staff? And that's always been a question. And this gets into the interesting things that happened like over a year ago was, which we haven't talked about, but somebody I was a big fan of was the Completionists, that one video gamer. I was a big fan of his for years, like 10 years. And then we learned a lot about what happened with him in 2023, where he may or may, I'm going to use allegedly because nothing is known. Sure. He allegedly was committing charity fraud and stealing money from charities. Like, he was creating a charity and he wasn't giving that money away. He had 20 people on staff, and every 3 months he would complain about how he could barely afford things. And the question is, how do you have 20 people on staff if you can barely afford to have
and what are those 20 people doing?
Yeah.
Like, as somebody who's worked, like, literally ran nonprofits, what are you doing? Like, what are they doing?
A lot of people. Like, I don't know.
That's big for a nonprofit. Yeah.
Yeah, and so and people did start questioning that, and I'm not going to get into this particular one, but it does bring up like some of these things. Like, we have a staff of 6 or 7 or 8 people. I'm like, how are you paying them?
Yeah,
you've got like a few million subscribers, yes, but you're only getting like 200,000 views or 50,000 views per video, and you're putting out 1 a week or 2 a week. Does that translate enough to pay people a living wage? Or are they working for scraps?
Yeah.
You're definitely, I'm going to guess you are not providing any benefits. So they don't have any health insurance, is my guess. Like, you're paying people and not giving them anything.
It's probably, I won't speculate because I don't know the whole situation, but if I were to guess, it may be 1099, like where it's just contracting, pay as you go kind of thing. Where then you ain't got to pay benefits or anything. You ain't got to take out payroll taxes. All you got to do is just give them a paycheck, and then it's up to them to arrange their own insurance, their own benefits, their own yada, 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 because fuck you, basically. Yeah. Which is 1099 contracting is kind of a scam, too. But
these are kids. Usually you have like 22-year-olds, right? A lot of times that are getting into this market, and they're probably not getting paid that much. So them going out, it's one thing if you're paying a contractor like, I don't know, $100 an hour, $60 an hour, whatever. It's another thing if you're paying them what, $15 an hour?
Yeah.
And which is probably, and I'm not getting, we probably shouldn't speculate on that, how much they're getting paid, but I don't think they could be paying a lot. Except for, and let's be honest, how most influencers are doing all this. They are rich, but they don't want you to know it.
Right.
And that's true. That's honestly true. If you look at all your favorite people who are doing great stuff and they have a lot of followers and they have a team, and you're like, man, how do they do that? And they live the good life. It's not because they're getting paid for it. They come from wealthy families. I've seen a lot of people who like convert. I got into this and I don't know how, where they convert buses into RVs, or they convert vans into RVs. And everybody's like, man, that's really cool. I wonder how you do that. And the answer is you have a lot of money, because that's very expensive.
Right.
Yeah. They're
somebody who owns a
cosplaying for it.
camper and has lived in this camper before, only for a few months, but yeah, that's expensive because everything, yeah, Jesus, the maintenance on that, especially if you have built in like water and, you know, cabling and stuff. Yeah. Lighting.
Yeah, some of them talk about their expenses, and I'm always like, where did you get that money?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to
Well,
give you that loan, are they?
one thing-
Not unless you have. They think you can pay it.
I really find it funny. A lot of the van life influencers, they'll do van life long enough to make a good, or they'll do, you know, non-traditional living out of a car, living out of a camper, whatever, videos long enough to build an audience for themselves, and then they'll get to a point where they have a big enough audience where they've done the money they want to do. They get to the point where they're big enough to get, you know, to make enough money, and then they'll be like, oh, this van life thing, it's just too hard. It's too much of a, and then they'll either stop, they'll take the money and run, or their content will completely shift over to something else. And like, this isn't what the fuck I subscribed to this person for.
Yeah.
I subscribe to see what off-grid living is. I subscribe to see what this is. And then the next thing you know, they're talking about, you know, they're doing the same thing everyone else is doing. They're pushing products, right? Let me tell you about this new blankets. Let me tell you about this new,
Yeah.
So fuck them.
Go to any van influencer, and then that's been around for more than 3 years, and look at their top watched videos.
Yeah.
And I bet you, like, in the top row will probably be why I quit van.
Yeah, I can't just do this. I just can't do this anymore. Yeah, it's just too hard of a toll. I can't access medical care. Yeah, fuck you. Don't push a lifestyle on people and get people interested in it, and then be like, oh, it's just too hard.
Yep.
I can't do it anymore. Well, you just scammed 1 million subscribers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Finn McKenty real quick. Are you familiar with the Finn McKenty situation?
I am not.
All right. So this YouTuber, the punk rock MBA, right? He started his YouTube channel, I think before COVID or during COVID, but he was a journalist for a few rock magazines in his early years, right? So music journalist turned into a YouTuber. So he comes out in the YouTube world and he does all this content, like documenting like histories of bands and genres and punk music and yada yada yada, right? So he builds up a really big following. How many people does the punk rock MBA have following right now? Just on YouTube, let's see. So 600,000, almost 600,000 subscribers, right? So for a few years, he builds up this YouTube channel, right? And he does interviews. He's on podcasts. He's on interviews with like Fat Mike from NoFX and a few other people. And so he gets really, it feels like a legitimate YouTuber who's really interested in music and really educating people about music. Then a few months ago, he just stopped putting out YouTube videos, right? So we're like, where the hell did Finn McKenty go, right? And he went on a podcast with somebody, I can't remember who, and he said, yeah, I was never actually interested in the music. I was just trying to build myself a personal brand, and I don't care about the music. And all the people who like this kind of music are all shills, and they're all sad boys that live at home in their basement, in their mom's basement, and basically shits all over his audience. And then says, I'm just going to start my own marketing firm on LinkedIn, basically. Like, what the fuck? That kind of shit. God, fuck YouTubers so much. So like a lot of them, and he did the same shit everybody else did. He would push ads. He would, get sponsorships. He'd be like, the Ridge, I think Ridge was one of them. And, Needle Drop, Anthony Fantano does the same thing. He'll push ads too. But Anthony Fantano at least has a little bit seems to have a little more integrity in that, he'll still review indie bands nobody's ever heard of and push artists. Like Anthony Fantano put Death Grips and JPEG Mafia and like some of these other like more obscure, like Brockhampton, some of these other more obscure artists like on the map. So at least he's done that for people. But Finn McKenty, all he did was talk about Bring Me the Horizon and emo rap, and he did these documentaries about the history of punk music and other rock genres, obviously. And he just bails on everybody And he's like, yeah, fuck all those people. Like, I never gave a shit about the music. I never gave a shit about my audience. Like, man, what a fucking prick, dude. So that's my rant about that. Like, anyone like that.
And I think, yeah, like I hate saying this. Like a lot of this stuff I hate saying because I like these people, but I'm not gonna create a parasocial relation with any of these YouTubers because here's the thing. I know behind the scenes, any of these people could be terrible humans. In fact, we found out a lot of YouTubers have been terrible humans over the
Mr.
years.
Beast, yeah.
Allegedly, Mr. Beast. Come
Sure.
on, let's say allegedly. He hasn't admitted to any of. He hasn't admitted to the things that seem to be happening behind the scenes. Yeah, there's. I'm not going to get into all of them. This started happening like a few years ago when I started questioning YouTubers on their, even the science YouTubers. There's been a few science communicator YouTubers that have done some questionable advertising or questionable videos that turn out to be advertising. I'm not going to get into those.
Like Dr. Oz, or
no, I was thinking, okay, I will get into. Veritasium got caught on one of those where he may have done an ad, pretended it wasn't an ad for a electric driverless car, and it just felt very off to a lot of people. That happened in that. I remember seeing that and the fallout from that, and that's when I first started thinking, he's a science communicator doing this.
Yeah.
Like, and then a few years ago, another one, SciShow, which is a science channel, Hank Green again.
I know them,
him. And they did an advertisement with a gas-powered car, all while also having videos on their page about climate change.
Right.
And people went after them on that, probably very, very should have, because it wasn't just a gas-powered car. It was, from what I gather, was a gas guzzling gas-powered car. Like, it wasn't like one of those really high-end.
So this honey thing, a lot of mentions have been talked about with MKB HD, the Marquez, whatever the fuck his name is, who was in some controversy like a few months ago because he posted a video where he was driving some new sports car and he was going like 90 and a 30 in a school zone or some shit. Like,
not to
what
mention,
a fucking idiot.
Not to mention the controversy he had from a few months before that when he had $50 wallpapers for your phone. Where
that's right. Yeah. So it turns out everyone that you like on YouTube is a piece of shit, basically. Except maybe he's got the watch. He might be okay, but he's
might
still
be.
young.
But
give him some time.
I don't want to say, like, people keep saying like, well, this one YouTuber's the best. Like, don't do it. Don't put anyone on the YouTuber mountain because they will. That is a guarantee. Like, the skeletons in their closet are about to come out, and it's going to be awful, and you're going to have to unsubscribe. I had to do that enough times to people where I was like, whoa, I did not know that about you. Guess we're not watching you anymore.
Yeah. I will say another thing I really just don't like about YouTubers is when they get to a point of success where they have enough money to go and do whatever they want, and then they go and do whatever they want, and they flash it all over their channel. Like whenever Metal Jesus Rocks travels to fucking Japan and all over the country looking for the rarest video game, no one can afford to do that. Like we're not watching your channel to see you go travel and live it up. I'm watching your channel to hear you talk about retro video games. Like, so I don't want to see you flaunt your fucking shit all over YouTube. But anyway, I digress.
That part I don't care about if it's like on brand, for like going to search for stuff. Because sometimes video game YouTubers do like to go to Japan, and I'm okay with that. But that's our difference of opinions. I think the big thing is like, I don't trust YouTubers with their ads anymore. And I don't know how the ad system works on YouTube. I don't know how it even works at all. And what we're basically advocating for, almost, Adam and I are, is that the ad system should not work at all, which means that YouTube wouldn't work at all. And you know what? At the end of the day, that may not be a bad thing, to be honest with you.
I think in your stats, when you get your stats back on a video, it shows where people watched and where people didn't watch. So if people skipped over your little ad, then that means they're not interested in your ads. Maybe you should stop doing your ads. And if you don't want to see if you don't want to see ads on YouTube and you pay for YouTube Premium, YouTube should account for that and have some sort of built-in AI algorithm where it just skips over the ad part in the video all around. Like that's what should, I mean, because YouTube has that ability to do that. Like technically speaking, YouTube can go through, like they can, in your editing in the back end, you can go through and edit your video on YouTube. So YouTube should be able to just be like, okay, this person's paying for premium. He doesn't want to see any ads.
There's a reason YouTube may not do that, and that's because if those ads help pay for the channels, and when the channels upload, people are watching, and so it looks good for YouTube that people watch. So they need people to make money on YouTube. And this is why YouTube gives, I think...
Yeah, so YouTube should pay them more for premium subscribers. Because I'm paying for YouTube Premium, so YouTube should then, in turn, through all the math, pay that person more for my view than somebody who is unsubscribed, or not, regular YouTube user.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying for it. So they're watching the ad, they're watching the erection ad at the beginning of the video or whatever it is. And because 90% of the ads are all medical ads, right? So they're watching that.
Which, scammy as it is, like, what? Take this pill that'll help you. And it's like, dude, you are a retro video game YouTuber. You should not be talking about medicine.
Well, not talking about those ads. I'm talking about the YouTube ads that play before the video.
Sometimes it's also those people.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes it's YouTubers that are doing stuff like that.
The Manscaped ads or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes they're like promoting stuff. It's like, this is not even anywhere near your wheelhouse. Why on earth do you think I want to watch this? I don't trust that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you're not talking about video games. And when video game YouTubers talk about video games ads, they're usually the worst video games of all. Yeah. Like, how am I supposed to trust your video that you've done all this research on when you said this is the best game I've ever played, and it's clearly, I'm not even sure if it's a real game. Or
I have one more point I want to make, and we'll wrap it up here. The other point I want to make is, in other countries, they've made it laws to where social media platforms have to offer an ad-free version of their platform. But the US has not done that yet. The only pay for ad-free service I know of is YouTube. The other one's Twitter or X, I guess, Instagram, Facebook. There is no pay for ad-free option, and there should be, because we shouldn't have to sift through ad. I was looking at my Instagram feed the other day. Oh. There were literally 3 ads in a row, 1 legit post, 2 more ads. Like, it's 80% ads now. So why can't I just, and I pay for Meta verified from Instagram, right? So I got the little blue check mark on my Instagram.
You're one of them people.
Well, I pay for it for a different reason, but I'm not going to get into it. But that should be ad.
Yes, thanks.
That should be ad free. That should be ad free. And if I pay for, there should be like a Facebook Plus, where like I can go into Facebook Plus, give them $20 a month, and I get ad free on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. Like, why doesn't that exist? It's X. I should be able to do the same thing. I should go on X and get ad free X, because I don't want to see ads anywhere in my life whatsoever. So why do I have to sit there and sift through those?
Well, you have Facebook Plus. What you need, Meta Plus. What you need is Meta Plus Plus.
Right.
That's the ad free. Yeah.
Well, they don't offer that. So if they did, I'd probably pay for it. Because, and then part of that should be, okay, you're paying for Facebook or Meta Plus, so you're getting Facebook, Instagram, and Threads ad free. Part of that is we stop collecting your data and selling it. Like, so now it's privacy protection too. So you're getting Facebook Plus ad free and privacy protection for social media. When a platform comes along that offers that, sign me up. I'll pay for it, because social media is important. It's how we connect to each other, right? It's how we keep in touch.
Yeah.
So it's an important thing to have in your life, especially if you care about the people that you deal with on a regular basis and that you want to keep in touch with. I've tried to turn on my Facebook several times over the past couple years. There was a year like 2021 2022 where I didn't have any Facebook whatsoever. And I may have still kept Messenger on, but I didn't miss it. But I did miss keeping in touch with some people that I can keep in touch with on there because that's the way they use it. So it should be, I'm not saying it doesn't need to be in your life. I'm just saying if you really care about your privacy and not wanting to see ads, Facebook should offer an option to not see ads on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, and so should X, and so should Blue Sky, and pick your other ad-based social media platform.
Yeah.
So you should, and as consumers and as people who use social media, we should be willing to pay for ad-free versions if to use.
And Adam and I both pay for ad-free YouTube. That isn't ad-free because we have to hear people talk about honey and BetterHelp and League of
Nations.
League of terrible video game. They always start with League. I mean, I know there's some good League.
Or World. Always League or World. World at War, World of War, World War II. Yeah.
And I know there are some good video games that have the word League in them. Rocket League, which is now pay to play. I mean, free to play. So on that, it used to be pay. You bought it and then you played it. And now it's free to play, which I always don't like. I never like it when they do that because that means, hey, this is going to be very ad centric now. All of a sudden, I hate when I buy a video game and then suddenly it now has ads in it when it didn't beforehand. And I was like, but I like phone games normally. It's like, but I bought you already.
Yeah.
I bought this version. This isn't a free version. I paid my $1 for Angry Birds, and now all of a sudden that version has ads all over it.
Well, you gotta buy Angry Birds Plus. That's your free version. That's what you gotta do. Which is $10 a year, by the way. So you gotta make sure you subscribe to that and make sure that it's in your app store.
We don't own anything anymore.
Well, that's why I still own physical media, because like all this, my records back here, there's no ads on my records.
That's true. Could you imagine if they suddenly put ads on there?
Well, so remember VHS and DVD do have ads. Remember that? Like they play the previews.
True.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
brings me back, but
they are fast forwardable. So
some of them are hard to get.
At least they're relevant. I've never seen. I put in my Jurassic Park VHS the other day. There was no advertisement for erection pills on my Jurassic Park VHS. It was just previews for other movies.
Yeah, you get trailers. we go on YouTube to watch trailers and get an ad of another trailer in order to watch the trailer.
Yeah.
That's always the funny thing. Like if I'm not on my YouTube account where I'm like, oh, I want to watch this trailer, and then I get an ad for a different trailer. I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm trying to watch a trailer. Why is there an ad on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, the honey, quote unquote, honey scam, whether or not it is, I don't know if it's a scam or not. I know YouTubers are up in arms and saying like this hurts everybody and it's a scam. I don't know if it is because I never read the paperwork of what YouTubers got when they signed it. I don't know if they knew what they were doing. Obviously, Linus Tech Tips figured it out on his own, or that team figured it out and then did not tell other people about it because they felt like it was.
Well, the right thing for them to have done would be to say, oh, here's our video about how we stopped. Like when Anchor got caught, Anchor, right? The little USB like device they make little hubs and stuff. So Anchor had like their own brand of like doorbell cameras and stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
And they were collecting that data and selling it, right? So when Anchor got caught doing that, Linus LTT put out a video saying, we're stopping our partnership with Anchor because they're collecting users' data, their videos, their personal data, whatever else, and either collecting, I can't remember if they were collecting it for themselves or if they were storing it or if they were selling it. I think they were selling it. But so LTT stopped doing, Linus Media Group stopped doing ads for Anchor after that, and they haven't resumed. They put out a video saying this is why. But this honey shit, they didn't do that with honey. So that is the point of failure for LMG that I think shame on them for not.
Or
yeah.
Or maybe there's something else to it. Maybe they were still getting money. Maybe there's something deeper to that of why they didn't put out a video on it.
Maybe it's PayPal. So what?
I don't know.
PayPal, which is like one of the largest transaction companies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Question is, did PayPal know that Honey was doing it, or did PayPal?
They used PayPal for checkout at their store. I wonder. Let's go see.
So there's more to this, and this gets into the thing is you just can't trust. The thing I'm trying to say is, and I hate to say this, is I don't think you can trust any ad a YouTuber puts out. And part of me says I don't think you should. I don't think you should click on them. I don't think you should use affiliate links, because if they're not gonna vet the products they're trying to advertise to us, why should we trust them?
They do use PayPal for checkout.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But yeah, so if they're not going to vet it and they're not going to tell us like, hey, we only use here's this is a sponsor. I want to see like they're saying, here's a sponsor we're using, and I want to see a video where they're like, this is our sponsor. If you want to know more about it, here's our video where we go into detail why we trust this sponsor.
Right.
I think that should be a thing now. Like if you're going to use a sponsor, you have like it can be an unlisted video in the link in the description that says why we trust the sponsor. And it's like a 10-minute video on what they like about this sponsor and the positives, the negative, the potential downside, and all that.
Yeah.
Show us like, yes, we have vetted this, and based on our current knowledge, we believe this to be good.
Yeah.
And that reason why I say that, and you're like, you don't see that on any other thing else. Yeah, but you know what? I don't have people personally trying to sell me something in the middle of their video.
Right.
Like Bill Murray is not selling me something in the middle of Groundhog Day. If I see a Bill Murray ad, it's separate from that. What I'm seeing is in the middle of your video on the Pixar theory, you are trying to sell me a product and then go back to your video. It's you the whole time. It's not even a different video. It didn't switch to an ad and then come back to the video. This is that video.
Yeah.
So this is you saying this is a product. This is you. This is you. So I'm believing you believe in this product. And if it's fake, then you're telling me I can't believe in you.
Right. I agree.
And for a lot of you, I can't believe in you.
I agree.
So
all right.
And Honey didn't screw me over. And that's the thing. And you're like, oh, you shouldn't think that way. But it's true. Honey did not screw over the consumer, according to everybody. According to all these things, Honey did not screw over the consumer. They screwed over the influencer.
Yeah.
But the influencers have been screwing over the consumers.
Yeah.
With peddling bad products.
Yeah.
And then never retracting them.
Yeah. Don't play the victim if you're pushing bad shit. Like, don't play the victim. And that's what they're doing. They're playing the victim. So,
I mean, people peddle BetterHelp, and they're still peddling BetterHelp and never once talked about the controversy.
Yeah.
But boy, they want to jump on Honey.
Yeah.
Because now they are being the victims.
Yeah. Now they're, yeah. Well,
we should worry about this because now we're the victims. Before, it was just you, the consumer, was the victims, and we don't care about you. It's what it feels like, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
It only matters when we, the influencer, are the victims.
Life is not written in ink. We change, we grow, we make mistakes, we learn, and eventually we fade away. Life is written in pencil. Thank you for listening to the In Pencil podcast.